The episode starts with Nivedita pleading Arti not to go against Anjali. Raghav asks Nivedita who is she to speak like that. Nivedita reminds Raghav that she is the daughter-in-law of the Rajput family. Raghav says Arti is daughter of the Rajput family. Gaurav says to Raghav that he is going to go down and says he is going to the rest of the family with him. Gaurav and Nivedita argue with Raghav and Vaibhav, and they ask Raghav to stop using Anjali to go against Anjali. Gaurav argues that Arti might go to jail because of what she is doing. Abhay comes downstairs and says it will never happen because Anjali will never allow Arti to go to jail. Abhay asks Gaurav to go to Just Watch and says Arti will explain to Anjali the relationship of a mother and daughter. Abhay says Arti will also explain what is the responsibility of a daughter-in-law towards family. Nivedita asks Abhay what kind of a responsibility has Anjali didn't fulfill. Nivedita asks Abhay not to speak about family responsibility as he couldn't even keep his wife. Abhay lashes out at Nivedita and asks Nivedita why is she speaking about Ginny, as she knows Ginny has left from here because she found another guy and left with him. Vaibhav and Abhay say this was meant to happen as she belongs to dirty blood. Sadhika asks them not to speak like that as Arti also has a little bit of that blood. Raghav and others do not stop at Gaurav and Nivedita's insistence, and they leave to Thakur mansion. Sadhika calls Anjali and asks Anjali if she wasn't able to convince Arti from going to Thakur mansion. Sadhika asks Anjali to stop the Griha Pravesh ritual too. Stop if she can. Sadhika cuts the call. Anjali thinks she cannot allow Arti to go against the law. The Thakur family is prepared to do the Griha Pravesh ritual, and they also warmly welcome the Rajput family. The Thakur family get ready to do the Griha Pravesh of Anjali. Anjali stops them. Abhay tries to push Anjali away. Anjali raises her hand at Abhay. Anjali says she would have hit him if he wasn't once husband of her sister and comments on it. Anjali argues with the Rajput family that what they are doing is against the law. Anjali also pours down the rice in the kalash and explains the importance of Griha Pravesh ritual to Mahek, saying this will not happen as this rice is bought by trafficking women. Mad comments on it. Yuvraj stops Anjali. Anjali slaps him and comments on him. Arti tries to speak to Anjali, but Anjali doesn't listen to him. Anjali gets a call from Pankaj asking her to come to the hospital and says Ravi will not survive. Anjali warns the Rajput family if Mahek doesn't return to Rajput house within an hour, Mahek and Yuvraj both will go to the jail. Anjali leaves from there. Mahek doesn't heed Anjali's warning and does the Griha Pravesh ritual. Anjali comes to the hospital and finds Ravi in critical condition. Anjali says to Ravi that he needs to live to identify her husband's killer. Anjali calls for doctor. Ravi's heart stops. The doctor trying to save Ravi, but he fails to do it. Doctor apologizes to Anjali and says he is no more. Anjali calls Yuvraj and accuses him of killing Ravi. Yuvraj admits that he killed Ravi and asks Anjali to do what she can do. Anjali says to Yuvraj that she will not spare him. Chandraman asks Yuvraj what is he doing. Yuvraj says to Chandraman that he is talking to Anjali over the phone. Chandraman talks to Anjali and says to Anjali that she has humiliated their family right at the doorstep. Chandraman says to Anjali that she will pay for it. Chandraman warns Anjali not to try to do anything and reminds Anjali that Mahek is right in their house, and if she does anything, then Mahek will be killed. Anjali says to Chandraman that she will not spare them. Chandraman comments on it and cuts the call. Chandraman asks Yuvraj if he is the one who has killed Ravi. Yuvraj says yes. Chandraman asks Yuvraj if there was any risk. Yuvraj says yes. Chandraman asks Yuvraj not to worry and says she will handle it. Yuvraj agrees and leaves. From there, Anjali says to Pankaj that she wants to meet the criminal who has shot Ravi. Pankaj takes Anjali to the police station. Anjali and Pankaj interrogate Satya, but he doesn't tell them anything. Anjali and Pankaj decide to kill Satya as he is not telling them anything. Pankaj asks Satya to run away and they chase him in a car. Pankaj and Anjali after a while get down from the car, and Pankaj shoots at Satya's foot and asks Satya if he was trying to escape. Satya says he will not escape. Anjali asks Satya to tell them who has ordered him to kill Ravi. Satya says it is Yuvraj. A shooter comes in a car and shoots Ravi and leaves from there. Ravi dies on the spot. Pankaj says to Anjali that he will lose his job as a fugitive is escaped from the police station and died on the road. Anjali assures Pankaj that nothing will happen to him. Anjali calls Yuvraj and says to him that Satya has given his statement that Yuvraj is the one who has ordered him to kill Ravi. Yuvraj says he hasn't ordered anyone to kill Ravi and says he is innocent. Chandraman comes there. Yuvraj complains to Chandraman about Anjali framing him. Chandraman comforts Yuvraj. Chandraman takes the phone and says Satya hasn't given his statement and says he is dead on the road. Chandraman says now Pankaj will lose his job and comments on it. Anjali says, so he is the one who has killed Satya. Chandraman admits to it and challenges Anjali that she will not be able to do anything. Anjali says she will take Yuvraj to jail as he has broken the law by having Mehak in his house as Yuvraj is already married to Padma and comments on it. Chandraman says to Anjali that she will not be able to do anything and cuts the call. Anjali assures Pankaj that she will not allow anything to happen to him. Anjali takes Pankaj to arrest Yuvraj. Chandraman calls Kali and asks Kali to take Padma out of the basti and says in return he will give her bed. Kali agrees. Kali says to Padma that she is feeling ill and asks Padma to come with her to get medicine. Padma agrees. Kali brings Padma out of the basti. Chandraman's henchmen abduct Padma and leave from there. Anjali and Pankaj ask Chandraman to call Yuvraj and says he will be arrested for breaking the law. Anjali says Yuvraj is already married to Padma but now he is having Mehak in his home. Chandraman asks Anjali to make Padma say that she has married Yuvraj, then he will send Mehak to her home. Chandraman calls Mehak and makes her call Padma. The episode starts with Chandraman making a promise to Anjali that he will drop Mehak at her home if Padma says that she has married Yuvraj. Chandraman asks Mehak to call Yuvraj. Mehak calls Padma and says she is not attending the call. Anjali calls Kali and asks Kali where is Padma. Kali says Padma has gone somewhere suddenly and says she might have gone to grocery store. Anjali goes looking for Padma and leaves from there. Chandraman gives advice to Pankaj, asking him to stay away from Anjali if he doesn't want to ruin his career in the matter regarding Satya's death. Chandraman assures to Pankaj that he will save him if a commission has happened on him. Chandraman warns Pankaj that he has to stay away from Anjali. Anjali comes to her home and she notices Padma missing and in the kitchen a dish is half-cooked. Anjali thinks Padma can never leave in the middle of cooking. Anjali goes out of her home and asks Pradeep if he saw Padma anywhere. Pradeep says no and says she should be here somewhere. Anjali says no and says Padma would never leave in the middle of cooking. Anjali spots Kali and asks Kali where is Padma. Kali says she doesn't know. Santosh comes and says she saw Padma leaving with Kali out of the basti. Anjali demands Kali to tell her the truth. Kali asks Anjali if she will be able to handle the truth. Anjali asks Kali what is she talking about. Kali says to Anjali that Raghav, Abhay and Arti have called Padma and they came and took Padma away. Anjali hearing it leaves to Raghav's house. Sadhika calls Kali and asks Kali if she told Anjali just like she asked her. Kali says yes. Sadhika says good and cuts the call. Sadhika says to herself she is eagerly waiting to see Anjali and Arti fight against each other. Padma regains consciousness and she finds herself in an abandoned factory. Padma shouts if anyone is here. Yuvraj and Rajyavanshi family, Uday, Pratap, and Sonal come there. Yuvraj takes the gun from Uday and he comments on Padma as she wanted to ruin his marriage. Yuvraj says to Padma that he has returned from foreign country after 21 years. He only wanted some peace and he loves Mehak very much and he has married her. Yuvraj comments on Padma as she wants to ruin It insists to Padma that she will kill her. Yuvraj gets a call from Mehak. Sonal closes Padma's mouth. Mehak asks Yuvraj, "Where is he?" Yuvraj says he wanted to buy a diamond ring for her as today is their first night in, comments on it. Mehak feels delighted hearing it and says to Yuvraj that he has become the old Yuvraj who has first proposed to her. Mehak asks Yuvraj to buy her a home so she could create her own home. Yuvraj assures Mehak it will happen soon. Yuvraj asks Uday to kill Padma and asks him to throw her in some drainage. Yuvraj says he has to go buy a diamond ring and arrange a sherwani. Sonal says it can be arranged and says Ved has bought a diamond ring for Arti and says he can take it, and she asks Yuvraj to order a sherwani. Yuvraj agrees and he gets ready to leave. Padma says to Yuvraj that he will be ruined by Anjali. Yuvraj laughs thinking Anjali couldn't do anything to him. Raghav and Abhay get ready to leave. Anjali comes to Rajput house. Raghav calls for the Rajput family and Arti and asks Arti to invite Anjali into the house, as the daughter-in-law of this house has arrived. Nivedita asks Anjali to enter the house and holds her hand. Anjali asks Nivedita to leave her hand. Anjali questions Raghav where is Padma. Anjali accuses Raghav, Padma and Arti of abducting Padma. Abhay and Raghav argue that Padma isn't here and they ask her to leave. Abhay tries to force Anjali to leave. Anjali grips his collar and says to Abhay that her sister Jeannie was missing before and now Padma is missing and says she will not spare him and comments on him. Arti asks Anjali why is she doing this. Episode ends.